Okay, somebody from Santon. Okay, so this is a new map, and I see. What are we? 2 minutes away. So let's see how many people is in the house. 143. Let's see how many else. Guys, as usual, get the link from underneath the video. Send it to your friends in Facebook, in Twitter, in WhatsApp. Let's try to get as many people as possible. Let's go back to the live one. Let me check back to the chat. 4 ways. Krugersdorf. Nice racetrack there, right? No, that's a Schwarzkopf. Sorry, not Krugersdorf. My bad. Where we can get this map. So I'm gonna share a lot of data and details and website today. Once we finish the live, YouTube will process the video, compress it, and then make it available for me to edit. Once I edit it, I will add all the links of every single thing that I published, as I usually do. So the map will be linked directly there. But if you, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but it's sacovid.netlify.app. And let me go back to this. 1 minute to go. We are 170 people, nice and cozy. A lot of apps that I can close. Did you guys have dinner already? Well, it depends where you are in the world, I guess. Okay, we're about to begin. Let me close this one as well. This one I can keep it open. All right. Hi, Gugu. Ronel. Eastern Cape. Buonasera from Durban. Buonasera, Durban. Sumal. Oliver, dinner finished. Happy digestion. All right, it is 7 o'clock, and as usual, we start right in time, just to not get into the habit of the South African president of starting always late. But I'm pretty sure that's got his reasons. Okay, so the first thing that I want to share with you is everything that I share here. I try to give you information, as I said in the teaser, if you've seen it, and I will try and make as much information available so that you can make your own decisions. There's going to be about 10-15 subjects that I'm going to cover, so I'll try to go quicker, just not to bore you, but I will provide information, so if you want to do research in your own time afterwards, you can dig into the one that you want. Okay, so let me change to oh wow, sorry, too many windows open. Okay, let me go back to this one. So now you should see the picture in picture with the thumbnail. And now, there we go. You should see the first one. So David Icke, I think it's pronounced, is a journalist and conspiracy theory. And one of the things that he has been theorized is that COVID-19 doesn't exist. This is one of his theories. Let me put the, just to show you who the guy is. There we go. You could see the screen. Please give me a feedback. I see somebody else already is still joining in. Going to give a lot of opinion, but this is pretty ridiculous because everybody else in the world, they would have done their own research and test, and they would have trusted China in any event. So I don't think that is really something that is real. Then he also said that the 5G. He said a lot of things. I will send a link to this video. But one of the main things is one of the most controversial topics in this period, and it's about 5G. Okay, so he said that 5G towers, they basically they stop human beings from absorbing oxygen. So basically, they have to do with the electromagnetic field within the human body, and it basically prevents the alveoli into the lungs to absorb oxygen. So therefore, they said, where they put the 5G towers, you get people that get into respirators because of the 5G and these flu symptoms that they have, and not because of COVID-19, which it doesn't exist. He even said that one of the first towers in China of 5G installed in China was in Wuhan. So I found it a little bit strange, and so, as I usually do, I researched it. So let me show you what I found. So let me move this one away. So if you look at this map, okay, this is basically the map worldwide of the 5G footprint. So if that is the case, you see China here with the number 3, and you see in Europe the presence in Europe of 5G, or in the US. So China started much later with 5G. So how is it possible that if the virus is caused and amplified or whatever are the causes from 5G, how is it possible that it started in China and not on the other countries that have 200-300 times more 5G than China? Don't you find it a little bit strange? And another thing that I want to show you, wait, let me stay here. Another thing I want to show you that I find particularly strange as well, sorry, wrong window, that I find particularly strange as well, is that this is the homepage of David Icke, and as you can see, everything that he's doing is basically to promote his books and productions and videos, and is basically an alarmist that is trying to get as much attention as possible on his production. And every single piece of information that he published, you can see it in debunking.com, as you can see up here. Everything is a conspiracy theory. So I don't know you guys, but personally, when somebody does everything in one direction, regardless of what is the subject, is always a conspiracy, and then you make money out of it. I don't know. You guys make the call. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Okay, I see already comments on 5G. So on 5G, I'm not going to spend much time because it's a big subject. But what I can give you on 5G is, yes, there is a problem with electromagnetic fields, even with 4G, with normal cell phone. That's why I never use my cell phone like this. I always use headphones or speakerphones, because of course we produce electricity as a human being, so there is an interference. But in terms of scientific demonstration that 5G has anything to do, not even with coronavirus, but with health, hasn't been proven yet. Because the waves, yes, they are in theory dangerous waves, but they are so far away from a human being that they are not dangerous. Maybe it will come out that they are. So I'm not giving you one story or the other, but also because I'm not a doctor, I will tell you who did. So let me put it on screen. There we go. So this is Dr. Anton. No, this is not anybody if I don't change the screen. So there we go. So this is Dr. Anton, and he has done an extensive research on 5G and health. I did an interview with him on coronavirus in general, and last week he released a full episode in his channel explicitly on 5G, and he goes in very technical details of the effect of 5G and electromagnetic fields on the human body. Watch that video. That's going to cover much more that I could possibly do. And after the live, as I said, I'm gonna put the Dr. Vitamin C, Tim said. Yeah, that's right. That's the same doctor. Okay, so let me leave this one on. Let's move on. So as I say, in 5G, I know that if you guys start writing on 5G, it's going to be like, the 6 gigahertz and so on. It's going to be a lot, and we have a lot to cover. So I'll leave you that link for 5G. Maybe I'll do a video on that. If you guys are interested, let me know. Let me see how many are we. So we are 255 at the moment. Let me start with the next topic. And it's one of the main ones for me. Okay, so this is Professor... Oh, wait, are you seeing the screen? Yes, you are. Perfect. Okay, so this is Professor Luc Montagnier, French, Nobel Prize. This is the guy that discovered in the 80s the HIV virus. So he knows a thing or two about virus. And last week he went on French TV and he basically announced that his lab and his team, they found out that the coronavirus has got 2 pieces of HIV DNA artificially installed, I don't use medical terms, into the coronavirus. So if this is true, we say that they are not full chains of strings of DNA, they are partial, but they say that he said that technically is not possible, it's not naturally possible for pieces of string of a virus of DNA to be implanted into the DNA of another virus. So he says that unequivocally the coronavirus is man-made. Of course, this raised a lot of debate underground, because publicly there isn't a lot of talk about this. I don't know, let me see the chat if you guys heard about this. And he went on saying that anybody with a DNA lab with the same machines and skills, they can do the same analysis and see this. So if this is true, that means that number one, the virus is man-made. Number two, it means that it doesn't come from a wet market in Wuhan, but comes from a lab in Wuhan. And then the interviewer asked them why they would have done something like this, like installing pieces of HIV DNA into the coronavirus DNA. And he said, I'm not saying that this was with the malicious intentions, but maybe they were trying to find a vaccine or a cure or whatever for HIV, and they did this kind of experiment, and it went out of hand. And those kind of experiments, according to him, they are also financed from the US, and that's why the US is not talking about this. Now, if this is true or not, I don't know. But this is a Nobel Prize with a big career, and it's got some heavy weights when it comes to opinions about virus and putting his career at stake. Also, he said that other in the world can do the same test. So that's the first thing. The second one that he said is that because it's not a natural virus and it is man-made, nature tends to equalize these kind of artifacts in nature. That means that the virus will mutate much quicker than a normal virus, and basically is going to lose the DNA strings from the HIV and become a normal coronavirus. As you know, there's many kinds of coronavirus, COVID-19 being the latest one. In the US, for example, the one that is in the US at the moment is already a mutation compared to the one that came from Wuhan. So what do you think about this one, guys? I think this is big. When I heard this one, and I couldn't find much in English, but I have an article in English with Mention the Doctor, because I found it only in French, and I found a translation in Italian. I didn't find it in English. Okay. I say you cannot see me. I was talking to myself all this time. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you very much. Let me know if I mismatch it. So, what do you think? Do you think this is true? Is this any possibility that this is the real thing? I think this is a big one. So if this is true, I think it's gonna make big waves. If there's another lab in the world that will come out confirming this theory, saying that the coronavirus has been man-made, a lot of things will change. Let me see in the comments what you guys says. What is the possibility of the CCP paying for this crisis? There's a lot of people that have interest. Depends what benefit they have at the end. And there are people. I wanted to do an episode about who are the sector that get benefit from the coronavirus. Hi, Suri. I see Suri is in as well. Okay, for Suri, we just got up on Dr. Montagnier saying that the coronavirus is man-made because he analyzed and has got 2 strings of HIV DNA implanted. So it doesn't come from a wet market in Wuhan, but but it's been made in a lab. And this apparently has been financed by the US as well. Okay, but I want to move on because there's a number of subjects that I want to cover. Okay, let's move to, okay, let me change display. Okay, let's talk about Greece. So is Greece winning the battle against coronavirus? So when I see these titles, I always wonder what are the math behind what they are saying, because there are many ways, as I've shown you in previous episode, on how to present data. So this is, for example, the daily confirmed COVID-19 deaths in Italy, the green one, and you can't barely even see it at the bottom. I've put Greece and South Africa. You know how similar they are and how low they are. So if you take into account the absolute numbers of the daily death, they are definitely, in the safe area. But let's see if I remove Italy and I put a chart only between Greece and South Africa. So if Greece is winning the battle, I think that South Africa is doing it as well. And they are in 2 opposite hemispheres. The only difference is that Greece is a bit warmer country than the rest of Europe, but I don't know if that one is justifiable as the only reason for that. Now, let's see how many tests has been performed in Greece. So you see here, again, I always use Italy because it's been hardly hit from the virus, and they've done a lot of tests relatively, not as much as Germany, but definitely quite a bit. So this is the number of tests per thousands of people. So it's not the absolute number. So Greece and South Africa, again, they're quite low, South Africa being even lower. So the number of tests done is not a lot. And then again, the question that I asked is, if you don't test a lot, you don't see a lot of cases and you don't see a lot of dead people. Because if dead people die from causes that are a cause together with the coronavirus and not only old age or cancer, whatever be the case. So coronavirus has been an accelerator. They should be counted in, and in these cases, they are not. Again, the example, in Italy, they test every dead person at the hospital to see if it's got coronavirus. In Germany, from what I understood, they don't. If somebody's from Germany online, please let me know if that is not the case. Okay, so now let me show you how many tests has been performed per 1,000 people. How many confirmed cases we have per million people. So as you can see, Greece, it's easier if I show you the live one of this one because I prepared it. Let me see if I have it here. Let me just bring the map up quickly. Let me see the chat meanwhile if there's anything that I missed. Population density plays a big role. Absolutely correct. Okay, so this is one of my favorite websites for comparing data because it's in real time. Okay, there we go. So if you can see here, Greece, 12 deaths per million is very similar to many other countries. And in Europe, like Germany, is very similar. Poland is similar. There's somebody from Poland here in online I saw. So, I don't know if he's winning the game. He's definitely lower in the curve, but how much the testing influenced that? You know what I mean? It's a big piece of information that is missing when they publish that kind of data. Okay, another big one. Sorry if I'm laughing, but this is interesting. Okay, so Greenland. Anybody from Greenland, of the 56,000 people that live in Greenland? So they say that Greenland is so safe, okay? And it is fairly low in the numbers, but they say that they have only 11 cases. The problem is, or the fact is, that Greenland has got only 56,000 people in the whole country, not just, in the whole region, because it's not a very densely populated area. So if I put it in perspective, okay, let's take the population of Greenland compared to Italy, South Africa, UK, and the US. So you can see the difference here. Italy, South Africa, and UK with similar number. US with 330 million. Greenland with 56,000. These are the number of active cases today. This is the latest one that I pulled from the official data source, which I will link as usually in the video when it's done. And this is how much incidence there is in the population, the percentage of infected people in the country. So as you can see, South Africa is even lower than Greenland. So why they're making so much noise about Greenland, South Africa is even less affected. Apparently, because again, it depends on the number of tests, and South Africa is not testing a lot. Okay, let me go back here. So I think I raised a few points here. I just want to read what are your thoughts. Okay, I see a comment on California. I'm going to get to California just now. I got a slide on that. Good question, Jack. Where is Jack? It's really difficult. I should have somebody to just summarize for me the chats because there's so many. Hello, Ryan from Northern Ireland. Okay, let me move on. I can concentrate on that. So, considering... Okay, now I'm smiling, but... I put this slide up and my South African friends, they're gonna understand why I'm smiling. Okay, I was talking about, so we're talking about South Africa, that it seems to have a low number. Okay, this is Professor Salim Abdul Karim, and he's the official scientist that is heading or helping the Department of Health of South Africa in the fight against coronavirus. So if you remember last week, I did an episode about the anomaly of the curve in South Africa, that exactly the moment that South Africa went in lockdown, it started going down, which is impossible because it takes 2 weeks for the virus to incubate. So in all other countries, you see that after 2 weeks, the curve starts going down. So, well, there's only his face there. So let me go back on the main screen. There we go. So Professor Karim, which is much more, of course, qualified of me, speaking about science and scientific subjects, he explained that South Africa had the first wave, he called it first wave, the first wave of foreigners coming into the country. Like any other country except China, of course, somebody from another country would come into the country. That is wave one. That he defined wave one. Wave two is people that are in direct contact. Kevin says, Mr. Mojo, you just stole my line. You see, you guys are too quick. You just stole my line now. Anyway, so you're going to know where I'm going, Mr. Mojo. So Professor Karim said that the second wave was people that they were in contact with the first wave with people coming from overseas, traveling. And then the first wave going in the main population, it didn't happen. Okay, so personally, just to give you my personal opinion, I don't understand how the third wave, as it has been defined, could not happen, because all the people from the first wave and the second wave, they go to the supermarket, they go to the bar, they touch things, and then all the workers and normal people in South Africa, they would have touched the same surface and get infected, go back to home, infected guys and the ladies at home, then go back and work wherever they work, and it would have spread. So it is really, really strange to me, especially seeing how this has happened in any other part of the world. But in any event, so I was waiting because it was a long presentation, and he wanted to explain the anomaly of the curve. Okay, so its first justification is that South Africa, for some reason, didn't have the third wave. And personally, I don't think I've done a graphical simulation in one of my first episodes, and the virus doesn't spread in waves. It spreads organically and algorithmically. So it doesn't happen in waves. But anyway, he said he doesn't know why the third wave didn't happen. And then the second justification, he said that maybe South Africa has got a mojo. A mojo. How can a person of science justify in front of a nation that the reason for the anomaly of the curve, that is clear to me that is because of the lack of data, is because of a mojo? How can credibility hold on with such a declaration? Anyway, I'm getting hot, so let's move to the next subject. I think it's not even an opinion. I mean, you tell me, guys, if mojo is a scientific term spoken by a scientific person to justify something as serious as a pandemic in a country. It's Saturday night, so let's relax and move on. Let me see your comments. Anybody else know Mr. Mojo? Professor Mojo, sorry. Yes, South Africa is 4220 now, yeah. Yes, asymptomatic infections are very important. And also another thing that came out in Italy that is ahead of the curve is that it is confirmed that people can get sick, get better, and then get sick again. So it's not true that once you develop the antibodies, then you are fine and you have like an immunity passport. Right, few days ago I saw from the news in Italy that has been proven that is not true. People can get sick again. Okay, there are some jokes. I'm sure you all guys are enjoying that. Okay, let me get into the next subject, which is also pretty big and controversial. Let's change screen again, and off we go. Dr. Buttar and Dr. Fauci. Okay, so Dr. Fauci is the consultant to the American government and has been for 40 years for pandemic. And he has done a lot of work with SARS and Ebola in the past. And Dr. Buttar is a medical doctor also in the US, and he criticizes, let me put it up here. So Dr. Buttar says that Fauci in 2017, he said already that in 2019 and 2020, there will be a pandemic, and then he apparently, according to Dr. Buttar, illegally got a lot of funds to develop vaccines and so on. And there was a number of other parties involved of that, and there was a link with the big pharmas and all of that. So that is something that you need to research for yourself because it's very controversial and there's no proof. So I've done my research, but it's pointless to put it down because there is no proof. If there was, or I could have found it, I would have put it down. So now, in the latest, so that's one of the things that is criticized from Dr. Butler to Dr. Fauci. Then the other thing is, lately, Dr. Fauci is saying, and a lot of the official bodies, that this virus is going to carry on for long, and we're going to be staying in isolation for a long time because the few feet or the meter and a half that we need to stay at distance is not enough anymore. It's going to be 20 feet and all of that. And Dr. Buttar said that there is no virus, and is a doctor, that can jump 20 feet. Okay, so hold on, because I got a surprise for the end about this 20 feet and the fact that a virus cannot jump 20 feet, because it has been demonstrated that it actually can, and actually much more than that. And I'll explain to you what it is. So another thing that Dr. Buttar put up is, let me show you. I lost my presentation again. Here it is, okay? It's basically that Surgeon General Dr. Adams, wait, I don't know if you guys are seeing. Yes, okay. So Surgeon General Dr. Adams is basically the chief, the commander-in-chief from the medical or health aspect of the US Army, which has got quite a voice together with Dr. Fauci in the US. So Dr. Buttar said that he came out at midnight at his time doing a vlog saying that the news came out that Surgeon General Adams, backed by President of the United States, has pulled out the numbers from the official ones from WHO and Fauci, and they say that he knows the real numbers, and the official ones that are published are not the real ones. So they're going to take a completely different decision now, and it's going to take over the management of the virus and the pandemic in the US. Now, this is not confirmed by any other source that I found. And Dr. Buttar said that he based this on this piece of news that you see online now. So now this FRNI, okay, which I can show you the live website of this source of information. Let me bring it up for you. Here it is. It's a website called fortruss.com, and I've done some research on the domain, and it's basically sensational website from Serbia. Okay, this is the source, and the only source that I could find. Then just to see the reliability of the source, if you look down, the kind of advertisement that there are here, man, you don't need a blue pill if you do this once a day. I mean, is this like a reliable source? And then if you look in this website, everything is sensational again. So again, I start thinking about Dr. Buttar. I mean, what kind of sources are this? And then I went on again on research on him, and I found out that he did an experiment last week or the week before with a couple of colleagues, Nia Peoples, I don't know how to pronounce it, and Dr. Bruce Lipton, very well known. And basically, they asked everybody in the world to have positive thoughts and do an experiment where something very bad would have happened in the planet, and if the three of them asking everybody in the world to put positive thoughts together would have changed the course of history. And then he went with another vlog after that date, and he said, guys, we did it. We saved the world. Something really bad would have happened, but all together with our positive thoughts, we saved the world. But he didn't say what the threat was. And he said, it doesn't matter what the threat was, but we all did it. So it's really working. It's like if I said, guys, now everybody cross your fingers right now. Everybody cross your fingers because a meteorite is going to hit the planet. Did you guys did it? Okay. Nothing hit the planet. It worked. We have powers. So, I think that this kind of behavior is a little bit strange in terms of doctor. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, sorry. No, there was my punchline there. Wait a second. So I have to redo it. So I don't know what you think, but for a doctor, I think this is a little bit strange. Do you get it now? Okay, so I don't know about superpowers and all things. So let's move on from this kind of people. Okay, let me bring this one down. Bringing this one back to my presentation. Okay, we're getting to the good part. Okay, California. Okay, so this doctor, from California, Dr. Erickson, he's saying numbers that are not confirming anything else that I was finding. He's saying basically that the mortality rate of coronavirus is like 0.1% or something ridiculous, when even the lowest number that I found in COVID-19 death rate is 1%, which is 10 times the seasonal flu, so which is pretty serious. So I don't know where this guy is coming from. You guys made your research. I will link the video on him. He keeps on doing press releases, and I don't know what is behind this, but it's something that is definitely worth investigating. I had a graph on this that I want to share with you. Yeah, there we go. So if that is the case, you can see, yes. Okay, perfect. So let me check the chat quickly. Thank you, Suri and Stefano. Okay, so I told you that I need to put some humor, guys. Come on, I'm a positive guy, and this is a negative subject. Usually I don't do negative subjects, but this is just too interesting, and I can't stand people doing fake news, so I have to investigate it. Okay, so look at this. So on the left, you have the seasonal flu fatalities, and on the right-hand side, you have the COVID-19 cases. So you can always say, and all the conspiracy theorists, they will tell you that this data is fake. That's what they do. But we need to work with the data that we have, and I agree that the more real data we have, the better. But this is official data, okay? And you can see for yourself. I mean, the COVID-19 diseases, deaths are way higher than the seasonal flu. Now see this other chart. So the yellow line is the flu in, I think this is in the US, but you have the source down there, although it's very small. And you see how many people died of seasonal flu in 2018, the yellow line. See now the exponential growth of the red line of COVID-19 between March and April. So for everybody saying that this is not a real virus and is like a flu, just look at the data. It is not. I was the first. I mean, there's somebody that is online now that I was with them in Italy in February when the pandemic started. And we were skeptical as well. And we were saying, but no, but it's just a flu. Why are you getting so paranoid? But guys, it's not. It's really not. Okay, next one. Okay, this is the surprise. This is the surprise. I don't know how many of you know this. Okay, wait. Okay, have you seen the pigs already? That was just a teaser. Let me see how many we are now. Can I see it? Okay, 327. All right, so those in Italy, they should know this already. Okay, so you know how much Italy, especially the north of Italy, has been hit with coronavirus and death and all of that. I mean, that was really, really terrible. And so I've seen a documentary where they've demonstrated. Okay, let me just change the view because I've got enough pride to say that my face is better than a pig. Not necessarily, but at least I can see while I'm talking. Okay, so what they found out is in that region in Italy, so between Lombardy and Veneto and Emilia-Romagna, that area that has been mainly hit, let me keep an eye on the chat. There is a lot of intense farming of pigs. Okay, and I make a long story short. And this documentary is not is only in Italian, unfortunately. I will link it, and you can see if you can translate it, or if there are subtitles. So basically, there is a big production of pigs, and then they take all the waste, so the poo of these pigs, and they go in big, large containers. They look like huge pools, okay? And this one can be open and let in the open to, they get used to fertilize the field and for agriculture. And there are periods of the year where this is not possible because when this evaporates, it creates ammonia. And then ammonia combined in the atmosphere creates a form of pollution called D10 or something like D10. Okay, so now I'm getting why this is connected to coronavirus. So the government released early the permission to basically release all this waste into the land, and this happened at the end of January, beginning of February. So this huge cloud of ammonia went into the atmosphere and it produced basically this kind of pollution called D10 or whatever it's called. So they found out that the D10, like the droplets of saliva that the virus used to transport itself, so the virus can use D10 to transport for very long distances. So this kind of vehicle, the D10 produced by the wastage of the pigs, made it possible for the coronavirus to live airborne for a long period of time and for great distances. So what Dr. Buttar was saying, that he cannot jump 20 feet, is not 20 feet, it's much more than that. And that's the reason why, according to this documentary, there's been such a huge pandemic in that area, because it grew so much. And of course, when it grows and it starts spreading in other parts of the territory, then it gets even worse. I think this was unbelievable and was a very well detailed, and it was a very serious source. It's called The Report. The program in Italy that did it is a very serious news program. Okay, let me see what you guys think. Yeah, it is concerning. So hopefully in other parts of the world we don't face the same thing. What time is it? Okay, I'm keeping you late here. Okay. And now, let's change subject now. Now I'm going to get a little bit controversial myself. I want to talk about banks and coronavirus. So in many countries, most countries, there are a number of programs to help big businesses, small businesses, and citizens to help with finances and cash flow and all of that. And in many countries, they are very strict with people try to take advantage of coronavirus, of COVID-19, to make money, to make extra profit from people that are in difficulty, right? And wait, I want to look at you in the face now when I say this. Okay, so there are countries like Italy where it's possible to have a loan holiday. So a citizen can ask for his business or for his personal, for example, home loan, to have an holiday, meaning that the loan is stopped for 6 months. And I know this because my brother did it and he lives in Italy. So they stop the loan for 6 months, and then after those 6 months, you start paying again, and you pay only the interest that matured during that period. Okay. Now, in other countries like South Africa, and I don't know how it is in the US or in the other countries, you guys let me know. Basically, they give you another loan to make you pay for the loan that you are paying. So let's say that now for the next 6 months, I have, $500 to pay for a mortgage or whatever might be the case. They give you another loan, so they give you the money to pay these installments, but then they charge interest on that loan as well. So if you first you have a certain amount of debt, now with this loan, you have even more debt. So how is this helping? How is this helping? So maybe help cash flow, but it's going to nail you afterwards. So in those countries, when they say that they're going to put to jail people, that they take advantage of the coronavirus, when they try to profit from the difficulty of people, why don't they put these banks in jail? I really don't get it. And I'm sorry because I've got banks as clients and they're not going to be very happy with me, but I have to say it. This is unethical. I'm sorry. This is unethical. I said it. Whoa, wow, I got a super chat. Thank you very much, Gus, for the donation. Greatly appreciated, and the hard work that I put, because I promise you to do these videos, it takes a lot of effort and resources to do it. Thank you very much, man. Really appreciate it. Okay. And then the last thing that I want to talk about, is it the last one? No, second last. It's something that everybody is very up in arms about, and it's the vaccine. Okay, and all the stories about Bill Gates and Fauci and try to plan when to do the vaccines and all of that. Okay, so I'm not an expert, but one thing that I know for sure is that pharmaceutical, and I have pharmaceuticals clients as well, pharmaceuticals make a lot of money with drugs. Okay, drugs that make money are those that they cure people and they keep on getting bought by the clients. Like, I give you an example. HIV for profitability is an excellent example where you need to get drugs continuously, the antiretroviral. Okay. A vaccine is very cheap to produce and the margins are very low. So there is no real, I don't see the interest of making a big conspiracy theory about making money or a vaccine, because the profitability on the vaccine is very small. So I don't have proof on one side or the other, but just think about it. Why would you do it? And then I want to say one last thing about Bill Gates. So I have no proof about Bill Gates being right or wrong or why he's doing one thing or the other. And I'm not a pro Bill Gates or anything like that. But one thing that I'm thinking, as a human being, as a man, so for somebody that is one of the richest men in the planet, Temba, thank you very much. Really appreciate it for the super chat. Really appreciate it, my man. So Bill Gates, when you are at the top of your career, you're going to be famous forever for what you've done with Microsoft and all of that, in the good and in the bad. You are now started, you're a philanthropist and you started a humanitarian association with your wife and all of that. Why would you want to make more money? I think that a person like that, he wants to be part of history. He wants to help others. He wants to leave a legacy that he's remembered for good things. People that are rich, and I know rich people, somebody wants to get more rich, but when you reach that level, you are on the top rich person in the world. You want something more. You don't want to buy another car. You can't have so many cars that you can drive only one at a time. You know what I mean? So I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, think about what are the purpose of the person and what would be gratifying for a person and what drives a person. Noor, my man, geez, guys, I'm very humbled by your donation. Thank you very much for helping the channel. Really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Okay, and then lastly, this is the last one, and I'm not going to go over it because it's a huge topic. And I know that you were waiting for it, or at least some of you. Okay, Dr. Shiva. So Dr. Shiva is the inventor of the email, believe it or not. So billions and billions of people used his invention. Okay, he's a very clever guy. I respect him, and he's got very strong theories about coronavirus. Because of the time, I mean, we really went over. I thought I was doing half an hour, and it's your Saturday night, and you need to spend time with your family. What I want to do is let's do in my Facebook page. Let's discuss about the theories of Dr. Shiva, because I think they are very interesting. They're among the most serious one that I've heard. And then maybe I can do either a video or a live if you if you guys like this kind of interaction, and we can take it from there, because this is really a big subject. Let me change back. So what do you guys think? As you can imagine, it takes a lot of effort to bring all this stuff up. And these live ones are actually a little bit easier. The proper videos that you see, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It takes a lot of research and a lot of time to produce. And I've got a day job and a family that I have to look after. Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. You said that he doesn't have a family. I'm sorry. So I hope that I was at least entertaining you. So is this something that you guys see like something recurrent? Would you like to have like a more frequent live chat? Do you prefer the formal videos that I produce? Give me also a video. What do you want to see next? Oliver, thank you for asking. My family is fine in Italy. My mom is in a house of care because she's got Alzheimer, and so far the virus didn't go in. It's very dangerous, as you know. That's a very hot spot, and they test the nurses apparently twice a week. They test my mom the second time already, and she's clear. Some of you don't use Facebook. Okay, what do you, John? What do you prefer if not Facebook? I can do a LinkedIn page. I got a LinkedIn account, but I didn't create a group. We can create a group on LinkedIn maybe. And Twitter also. You can reach me in Twitter. In every single of my video, all my accounts are at the bottom, and you can see them there. Okay, I'll keep up the live. I think the live is appreciated. Thank you, guys. Okay, fantastic. Right, so I'm going to add the session now. Thank you very much for everybody to attend. I know that there is a lot of option out there to watch news and everything else. As you know, I don't want to provide news. I just want I'm a guy like you that do some research, and I want to share it with you and try to put it complex matter in a way that is a little bit more easy to comprehend. In the past, I had an e-learning company, so I'm used to summarize things into a visual manner, and yeah, it's been great. It gives me pleasure to share these things with you, and I hope that you guys appreciate it. And I'm sorry if the lives are not perfect, but it's really more challenging to do a live in terms of coordinating everything, and I'm glad that everything went fine. So stay healthy. Remember that being healthy, eat well, and be fit is the best defense that we have. Keep your distance with everybody, and stay safe. I'll see you at the next one.